This is Real Women, celebrating women in film. I'm your host, Brenda Daly. Today, we're going to be talking with a filmmaker. He is a writer, director, producer. His name is Preston Walden. He is doing a film that's in post-production called Where the Land Meets the Sky. He's got one coming extremely soon called Hanging with William King. And he's got one getting ready to shoot, and it's called Carver Cove. And Cove. And we're super excited to have him here. He's actually the manager of Heather Fraley, who will be our guest in the following week. And hey, Preston, how's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing great. So I wanted everybody to know that you are a filmmaker, and we're going to talk about how you got started as a filmmaker.
Okay, great.
So what actually got you into actual filmmaking?
I guess I've had a big imagination all my life. Growing up as an only child, you kind of have to, use your imagination. And then I just kind of fell into acting in high school, and doing stage play and this and that in college, and then just kind of going through all that, and then took a little break, went back kind of into acting, and then I just kind of went from there to back in 2005, 2006 to writing, just starting to write and just wanted to see on the other side what it was about.
Uh-huh.
And then I just kind of fell in love with that aspect of it.
Right. You would never do the acting again, or you're just...
Funny thing is, I'm actually with Heather. I'm actually debuting my first film I'm going to be in. I wrote it and directing it.
Right.
Along with her in September, called Sanctum in the Mist.
Oh, okay. Now, is that a feature film?
No, it's a short.
Okay. Yeah, it's funny because I am also I'm an actor, writer, creator, producer, director, multifaceted, but I pretty much started writing for my daughter because she's been an actor her whole life. And I did acting in high school and college, but so I find that the new age of creativity is people are writing their own content.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could say maybe I have a control issue because, I was like, I guess I just find when I'm writing and stuff, and not everything I write goes to film. It has to connect. It has to have some kind of connection with me to be able to go from when I'm writing. And sometimes when I'm writing, I may not even finish it because it's just not there. But when it's there, I know it's something that I need to tell.
Well, I think too, because I think we all do that, but I think that sometimes you put away a project for one that kind of makes your soul sing a little bit more. And then you can always go back to it if you're looking for ideas later. So are all the films that you've done, did you write them?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Well, except for The Hanging of William King, I was hired to direct that one.
Oh, okay. So everybody knows he's a director, writer, producer, and now we know you're an actor. Where he's also the manager of Heather Fraley, who we'll be talking to next week. But I wanted to know, when you pick a project, what is it? What's that thing that makes you tick? Like, what makes you feel like that's the project for right now?
The big three: character, story, and script, and not in that order. I have to look at a script, and I have to connect. It has to have something more than just the story. It has to have something underneath, and the characters as well. I mean, the hardest part is trying to create a villain, an antagonist that we can say, they're doing something bad, but I can understand why they're doing it. And a lot of times that's not done. So having characters, and
you want a character, not a caricature, because even the villain thinks that they're doing good.
Exactly. Hitler thought he was doing the right thing.
Right. Exactly.
So it's going from that perspective. I used to teach acting as well a couple years ago, and well, more than a couple years ago, but and I would ask the class and said, okay, like, what is evil, and is it an actual thing, or is there what motive goes from point A to point B, or whatever, and you have to find the substance. You have to, of that character. So I look at that, but also story as well. What is the story trying to tell? I mean, there are millions of stories out there,
right?
But I want ones that will affect people. I've made people cry on my scripts, and that was, that was the right reaction. I want it because Roy Schneider said it best. They asked him a long time ago after he did Jaws. They said, what made Jaws so popular, so successful, unlike any other kind of genre of film like that? He goes, because it wasn't about the shark. It was about these three men that they were totally different on a boat, and it centerized them, and they were just in that situation that involved a big shark. So that right there, it's like your characters have to.
They have to make you feel something.
They have to say something also.
Yeah. But I feel like I just watched a movie the other day, and it was like sometimes, and I think actors make some of the best writers in my opinion, because we're already taught to break everything down and then rebuild it up. But I also feel like when I watch an actor, I'm not really looking at what the dialogue is. I'm not looking at the scenery. I'm looking, does that actor make me feel something in that moment? Because then I go, oh, that's a good actor. Like, I want to take that journey, and it doesn't matter whether it's the protagonist or the antagonist. I want to have that aha moment. It's like, oh, I can just imagine what that would be like.
Yeah. I don't want to root for, like, back in the 80s, you had the Friday the 13th and stuff, where you're rooting for Jason and rooting for Freddy because everyone else is so annoying that you kind of wish they, come on, kill them off,
Exactly.
Yeah.
So far, because you have a movie that's called Where the Land Meets the Sky. You said it's a family film.
Correct. That is actually out right now. It's I kind of reposted it for Father's Day because it's about a father trying to reconnect with his young daughter after the death of his estranged wife, and they go on a kind of a road journey to spread her ashes, and it's just about forgiveness and about forgiving yourself, and so it was a nice little movie that we did, and so it was nice. It was it's at Walmart. It's at Walmart.com, I should say, Amazon, a few other places, but yeah, it was a nice little film.
What's the hardest thing you think for you, because you do all these things? What's the hardest job for you when you make a film?
Producing.
Yeah, I kind of see that. I feel like that's kind of what I do the most, but I think it's just because, you have to take a big responsibility when you're producing, because you're the first one in and the last one out.
Yeah, I mean, as a producer, I mean, you have so many different factors going on. A lot of people don't know that you do. I mean, and as an independent, sometimes you got to do a lot of this stuff yourself.
Or most of it.
Yeah, most of it. I'm doing actually 3 jobs for one. Well, I should say, I'm doing jobs that 3 people should be doing.
Right.
But I look at it this way, that, the more I do, the more I do, the more I do. And when it gets to that point when it's like, okay, from all the sweat and hard work, and then you see that it pays off, it's worth it.
Yeah, I think too. The only problem is like, for me, like, I literally just did my first feature film, and I did it on a challenge because I'd done a bunch of shorts, but I felt like I had a budget of $7,000 and I only had 7 to 10 days to film it.
Oh,
So
wow.
it was a marathon. And, you know, of course, when you look at the film, I know some things lacked, but, you know, I also had a lot of people who had to volunteer their time because I only had $7,000. But for
Right.
the most part, you know, I was a one woman crew as far as setting everything up, getting things done. And I feel like, if you ever get the opportunity to do it, I would say every filmmaker should do it because it gives you appreciation, especially if you're directing somebody's film or if you're producing somebody's film. You get an appreciation of what everybody does on all sides of the camera so that you can appreciate them when they're on set and understand how difficult their job is.
Yeah, I'm actually doing I never ever wanted to do any kind of competition whatsoever like that.
Uh-huh. It was
But
a challenge, not a
well,
competition.
I'm sorry, a challenge,
Yeah, 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 yeah.
But the aforementioned Heather, she actually wrote one called Intruders,
Uh-huh.
and it's a 5-6 minute little like film. But she wrote it in one night and she submitted it. We'll find out on the first if it's accepted. Even if it's not, we're still going to do it. And I told her, I said, "You want me to, do you have, you want me to direct it?" She goes, "Oh, I didn't think you wanted, what?" I'm like, "Absolutely. I mean, like, you wrote this, you're starring in it. This is your baby. Of course I want to." And
Right.
but I look at any kind of film, whether if it's a short, or it's like short film, series, feature film. They all have to have those three that I mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
And it has to have also, if it has a little something special in it, maybe a little surprise, a little bit of like, something like that, which hers does.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually really, she did a really, really good job. She did
So
a really
what's your favorite genre of film?
uh and film and making or watching.
Just whatever films you like. Like, what do you like
uh
to make?
I would say suspense,
Uh-huh.
but like but with the, like, for instance, Carver Cove, which I'm doing.
Uh-huh.
It's X-Files meets Twin Peaks.
Uh-huh.
And I was going over with my DP on it, about how we want to film it and stuff. And I said, I want them to take their time because I don't want it fast. I want the characters to breathe. And when you have suspense, when you have a mystery, and you have characters that are real and human and are going through things, you're not going to be Speedy Gonzalez. You're in that mode. You're in
Mm-hmm.
that mode
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of just kind of breathing in. So, and I think suspense really, really does that. If you could do actually, I'm doing one called a Ding Dong Ditch.
Uh-huh.
It's a short I wrote, like 10 minutes with Heather. It's gonna be like the Heather show.
Well, yeah, but that's because you're her manager, and I feel like, and it's funny how creatives when they get together, it's like, okay, now you're getting your team together because I've noticed that even, especially in the independent market, you get those people you trust.
Absolutely, and the thing is that I work with a lot of the same people. Like, the smaller films, I work with a lot of the same people. But this, but yeah, it's gonna be fun because Ding Dong Ditch is kind of a suspense kind of thing, woman in the window type of
Right.
scenario. And again, this type of film allows allows the actors to breathe.
So I know because I know shorts don't make any money. So
Right.
when you make a bunch of shorts, doesn't it kind of get away from the actual features? I mean, I know, you take a day
Mm.
off and whatever, but
Right.
I feel like, I mean, for me, I did a ton of shorts, but I feel like I don't know if I could make another short again, not because I don't like the idea, but just
Mm.
because I know that I can't sell it. And I feel like, I think for Heather, it's great that she wrote it and that you're going to direct that short because you're her manager and you're pushing her
Right.
forward. But I mean, what's the end game on making all the shorts, and why can't you make them features?
Well, I have several features for next year.
Right, right, right.
So this year, well, number one, it's good practice.
Right.
Number two, if you have a film that is proof of concept, then you're not just making it short, you're making it part of the marketing.
Right.
You know,
That's good. I like that.
Of doing something bigger. Ding Dong Ditch was just a thing I could do with Heather. That's basically what it was. And it actually, it's actually almost like an anti-drunk driving.
Oh, okay.
Thing too. I know Ding Dong Ditch, you know, drug. I'm like,
I feel like it's like, it feels like a kid's game. Like I would be a kid movie.
Well, it's a little for 10 minutes. It has a lot of like complications, a lot of like thought.
Well, that's good.
But even in my short films, I will do, it has, because it's so hard to do, especially in a short, a beginning, a middle, and an end.
Right.
And I do actually, you know, I have to have that. I can't just have something where it doesn't make sense just because you're doing a short film.
Right.
I want to tell a message. But in saying that, 2020 and a lot of 2021, it was very dry. So for me going into, now I just did this Western, it was like 5-day shoot.
Oh, okay.
But it was a feature packed in a short film.
Okay. Yeah.
Because down about an hour south from Tampa, where I am, a gentleman, he has, on his property has an actual like Western town.
You need to give me his number. I need that. Go ahead.
That he built, and we had the horses, we had the carriages, we had, we had so much there, and it was so big for a short that like I said, it was like a feature. But to be able for me to go, okay, I'm getting my feet wet again because of the layoff of the year we won't mention again. I want to do this, and then I want to do that, and I want to kind of, while telling a story, not just to do it. But in January, Carver Cove is a SAG-LO film, and it's a pretty big feature film. And then I have a couple others that I'm going to. Heather and I are going to the American Film Market in November. And we're going to get my lead actress is out there. Okay. And Sadie Katz.
I know Sadie.
You know Sadie?
Yeah.
So yep, I'm gonna go out there and I don't know if she'll ever listen to this, but that baby's coming.
Yeah. Actually, I was in a Mahal film. And I don't know if she was in that one, but she's been in a lot of the Mahal Empire films. So
okay, yeah. So
she works a lot, that girl.
Yeah. So I'm going to meet her out there at AFM, and get the pre-distribution, but also trying like investors or what have you to pick up a couple other films that I wrote, and I have lead cast, and every single one of them are completely different from each other.
Right. So you're not really picking a genre. You're just kind of picking what you love, I would love to do this, or I would love to do that kind of thing.
Yeah. And I think too, that it kind of like gets you on your toes, and it makes you rework your brain, where you have to go from mystery suspense to a Nicholas Sparks type of film to sex trafficking film.
Yeah. Do you find that every time you make a different film, you have to go to a different distribution company because of the genre changes?
Yeah, I mean, the first one I did back in 2015, it was a very small little fly by night kind of thing, but it was your first, and your first is never supposed to be the best, right?
Right.
You get what you want, or you can get. And then this other one we targeted on kind of more of a family, faith-based type of distribution company that would, say, okay, we're going to do something with this film. We know how to market this film. And, so that's the thing with filmmakers. It's like, they have to know that it's just not the filming. It's just not the going to film fest. I mean, how many times I've asked filmmaker. What are you going to do with your film?
Oh, and I'm literally going through the whole distribution thing, and I'm like, I don't even, you know, people are offering me ridiculous stuff. And it's like, yeah, I'm not giving you my film for 7 years. 3 right now is what, you know, you have to know what you're doing. And I'm just learning. So.
Yeah. And when they say, well, I'm taking it to a film festival. Oh, well, okay.
You and everyone
else. Okay. But what is, like you said, the word end game? What is your end game? What are you wanting out of this?
Yeah, actually, this lady, she wanted all Universal rights. I go, so you're going to put it in theaters? And she's like, no. And I go, are you going to sell it to the foreign market? She says, no, I have my own channel. And I said, so why do you need Universal rights and 7 years? And she's, well, I'll do the marketing. I go, but are you marketing the film or are you marketing the channel? Which is a whole different thing, right? So I think that, you know, but when you get to distribution, you have to know all of it in order, otherwise you're going to get walked all over, you know?
Oh my gosh, yes. And they see you coming.
Oh, yeah.
They definitely see you coming.
And I think with name talent, it's different. But like, I think for a smaller with no name talent yet, I almost feel like you're almost better off just getting an aggregator like Film Hub and going that route and doing your own SEOs on it. But I've been told pretty much every time I go to a film festival or go to a conference is, yeah, even if you get your film with a distribution company, they're probably not even going to market it. It's all based on your poster.
Absolutely. What they do is they'll just take a bunch of films and they just go, boop, and then it's here's the thing is you're paying them to do the marketing stuff, but basically you're having to do it yourself.
Right.
And so that's, I mean, of course they want your film.
Well, yeah. And she said to me, yeah, I go, how are you going to market it? Like, can you send me your marketing plan? And of course, I haven't seen it. It's been a month, just so you know. But I go, can you send me your marketing? She goes, I'll put it on podcasts. It's like, honey, I can get on any podcast I want at this point. I've been doing a podcast. It's not that hard. That's not marketing. That's not a plan.
No, it's not. It's not. And the thing is, really, the thing is that you have to fall. You have to fail. You have to get into that situation in order to move on. I could sit next to someone and tell them all the live long day about what is what. But if some, whatever little distribution company comes and goes, I want that, then they're going to be first time doing it. And they're like, woohoo, Believe me, I was kind of like that in 2015. I was with some other people and I was in another group. I wasn't just myself.
Right.
And it was all voted to go with this other company. I was a little hesitant. Even like the first thing, it's like, okay, it's on Amazon. Well, you can put yourself on Amazon too, and it does the same. So you're pretty much paying for what?
Right. And the thing is that being a producer, because when you do a lot of different things, that's your job is to know what you're getting yourself into. And that way, if you're also representing other people's films or their babies, you want to make sure that it's kind of your job and responsibility to know what's trending. Like I know 10 years was like a thing and then 7 years, but now it's like 3 years. So if someone comes to me with 7 years, I already know that either they're trying to take advantage of me or they just don't know what they're talking about. And you have to be careful with that.
Absolutely.
You and I can go to AFM and sell films.
Yeah, absolutely. and the thing is, I heard this before. And I like this. It's not what you're owed; it's what you can negotiate.
Oh, I like that. Because I know I really love the fact that we got in the whole distribution thing.
Yeah, it's not what you're worth. Sorry, it's not what you're worth. Is what you can negotiate.
Exactly. No, and I think everything's negotiation. I mean, you can take all the classes and know everything about everything, but in the end of the day, it's always a negotiation, and you're going to have some sort of give. It's always a give and take. So I wanted to ask you if you were talking to Preston, who just got started in filmmaking, what kind of advice would you give him?
I would actually tell younger Preston, baby Preston.
Don't do it. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
I would tell the young lad, just keep doing what you're doing.
Keep rolling.
Just keep doing what you're doing. Don't change a damn thing. Because the thing is that, you know, you can like, and I don't believe in regrets to a point, because regrets is what makes, it's how you learn. It's how you, because if you don't have, if like, I wish I did this and did that. Okay, well, do something about it. And let me tell you, you know how many dumb things I've said, you know, or just absolutely didn't make any sense whatsoever. I'm thinking, oh, I know this, I know that. And people look at me like I grew 3 heads. I mean, it's like, you know, and it's just a learning, and you have to go through all of that. And unfortunately, majority of the United States, they don't have the classes. They don't have the, you know, I mean, now we have masterclass that you can do. Not sponsored, by the way.
But actually, you know, I've been learning a lot more information on Udemy. I did the masterclass thing, and I love it because I'm Aaron Sorkin freak, and my maiden name's Sorkin, so I don't think we're related. But when I love that, but also, I think
Bob Iger.
Oh yeah. So, but there's a lot of things that you can learn. It doesn't necessarily have to be filmmaking. There's a one on masterclass, and this is not sponsored by Masterclass, but there's one about the art of negotiation. I mean, you have to know a little bit about everything. So since we're getting running out of time, but since this is Real Women Celebrating Women in Film, is there any woman in film that you can even think of that you kind of have seen, or an actress, a writer, a producer, somebody that really tugged like, oh my God, if she can do it, I can do it. I'm just so impressed by her.
Well, one, I'm going to say, and I mean, to me, she's the GOAT actress, Meryl Streep.
Oh, yes.
But not probably why you think. I mean, she's a genius. But it's when she tells the story when she first started. Producers, directors were telling her she was too ugly, that she wouldn't go anywhere. She, you know, you're not this sex symbol. You're this and that. And she told them to bleep off, and she did her own thing, and look at her now. And I've, you know, so many, I know with actresses, so many, maybe not much anymore as it used to be, because being a character actor and being different and all that is so much accepted. It's a lot more accepted now than it was. But still, you know, you look at one and you look at another, and here you are going, am I good enough for this? Am I good enough for, you know, because they're telling me I may not be attractive enough. I mean,
and I have to tell you, there was I went to a women's film festival, and there was this film. It was a French film. So, you know, of course, everything was in subtitles, but basically it was so clever because these women were driving down the road on sets, and they were saying, because if you look at films, I don't know, they're probably films from 5 years ago, but if you look at films on a regular basis, only 25% of the dialogue is given to a woman. It's always to hold up a man. And so these women were like picking other women up on film sets, like through the ages. And then they went through this whole thing where it's like ages 40 and up. It was like, you know, you're too this, you're too old, you're too this. And it's like, it's kind of making fun of what our society has done.
Wow.
You know, I think that, you know, what you're trying to say is that you should be yourself. And I feel like you are kind of iconic in the way that you understand that in order to be viable in this market, we have to kind of make our own content, and you have to make your own path.
Yeah, you do. And not worry about what this person says and that person says. You concentrate on you and concentrate on getting better. Michael Caine said, I will never stop learning until the day I die.
Right.
You keep on learning. And Meryl Streep, her testimony was of how she goes, and now look at her now. That right there is just one example of just overcoming the negative and stuff like that, and just saying, I'm going to do it no matter what. I'm going to do it.
Yeah, this was super fun, Preston. I just wanted to let everybody know that we are going to have Preston's link, IMDb link down below. You'll be able to see his coming soon project. If you want to find Where the Land Meets the Sky, you can find it on Amazon or on Walmart. Anything projects that you want to get a hold of him, I'm sure he's pretty easy to get hold of. If he's interested, he will get back to you. And it was really nice to talk to you, Preston. I'm really excited about seeing what comes, and I'm definitely gonna check out When the Land Meets the Sky and see your work.
I appreciate it. And we definitely have more coming. Like I said, Carver Cove, and then next year as well. So this is the time. I started like this, and then it went up a little bit like this, and that's the thing. You just take the steps. You take the steps, and you just and do it. Don't sit on the couch. Just do it.
Just do it. I love it. Thank you so much, Preston. This was super fun, and I'm so glad you were great to interview.
I appreciate it. It was fun.
Talk to you later. Bye.